Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Maha-Bharata, second part, chapter 23. Karna in command. Scene 1, day number 16 of the war. Meanwhile, in Duryodhana's tent, the monarchs and warriors sat in silence, gazing at the empty seat which was once owned by Drona Acharya. Duryodhana himself was overcome by grief. He drew long breaths, staring at the ground. Some of his friends comforted him, citing Vedic verses about the eternality of the soul and the temporality of all things material. Then they consoled Kripa Acharya, who was also lamenting the death of his beloved friend and brother-in-law. Ashvatthama had gone to his tent, wanting to be left alone. After a while, the kings departed, leaving Duryodhana alone with his brothers Karna and Shakuni. They said little and sat remembering the miseries they had inflicted on the Pandavas, but now feeling deep regret. As the evening wore on, they lay down on costly couches. Tossing in anxiety, they could not rest. The night seemed to drag on. Duryodhana thought once again of the Dandavas. It did seem they had kept their promise to assist him. Drona had fought demoniacally, but still had been brought down. What power did the Pandavas have on their side? The Kauravas could do nothing to stop them. Why? As the sun at last approached the eastern sky, the Kauravas rose listlessly and went about their morning rituals. Coming together again with the other monarchs, they decided to install Karna as their commander. The installation ceremony was performed, and after giving charity to the Brahmanas, they moved toward the battlefield for the 16th day. Praised and blessed by the Brahmanas, the Kuru army marched out, determined to avenge the death of Drona Acharya. Karna rode at their head, clad in brilliant armor, and shining just like his celestial father, Suryadev, on the resplendent chariot of the sun god. As Karna left for the battle, he cheered the Kauravas with his roars and shouts, while bards and poets sang Karna's glories. And by his side rode Duryodhana, his remaining brothers behind him. They were flanked by Ashvatthama, Kripa Acharya, Kritavarma, and Shalya. Other powerful kings followed those heroes, leading their armies, forming them into an array shaped like a bird. All the warriors then put aside their previous reverses. Now, hoping for victory, they charged into battle with loud cries. Seeing their foes approaching in a heroic mood, the Pandavas arranged their troops into a half-moon formation. The two armies converged, yelling out war cries, blowing their kanchals. Of the original 6 million warriors, less than 1 million remained. They all knew that the war would be over only when all of them were slain. Duryodhana would fight to the last, and the Pandavas also would not relinquish their claim to the kingdom. There were still invincible heroes on both sides who stood unflinching in battle. Thus it was certain the two armies would be both annihilated, thus leaving the great heroes on either side to contend for the final victory. Scene 2. Nakula humiliated by Karna. Fired up now by his position as commander-in-chief of the Kaurava army, Karna began to slaughter the remaining Pandava forces. As he released his oil-soaked arrows in all directions, Karna seemed to his enemies to be just like the blazing sun with its fierce rays. Indiscriminate about whom he attacked, Karna felled soldiers, horsemen, elephants, and chariot fighters alike. Bhima, Nakula, and Satyaki rushed to check Karna's progress. They rained down weapons upon him, gradually forcing Karna back. Other Kauravas came to Karna's assistance, and a fierce battle then ensued between the heroes of both sides. A terrible encounter then took place between Bhimasena and Ashwatthama, which even the celestials watched from above with wonder. Finally, Bhima overpowered Ashwatthama, who was carried away unconscious from the battlefield. Bhima was also wounded. He collapsed, exhausted, and was similarly taken away by his chariot driver. Now, fighting his way free from his antagonists, Karna moved rapidly and uncontrollably once again into the Pandava army. And with innumerable arrows, Karna crushed the troops, cutting through their ranks like a fire through a dry forest. Pursued by a number of Pandava heroes, Karna ranged about, causing carnage among their forces. Meanwhile, on another part of the battlefield, Arjuna fought without mercy, charging against the remaining Narayanas and the few surviving Sangsaktakas. Bibhatsu ruthlessly cut them down with his unfailing arrows. The Kaurava forces, under Arjuna's attack, appeared like the ocean tossed about by a raging storm. Longing for his chance to encounter Karna for their final fight, Sabyasachi wasted no time in slaying his unretreating foes. But as he slaughtered the Panchala and Somaka warriors, Karna was caught and challenged by Nakula. That fearless Pandava warrior hurled a number of deadly darts at Karna, who responded by cutting them to pieces with swift arrows. Karna shot blazing shafts at Nakula, who in turn cut them down with his own. After fighting intensely for some time, the two men stood back, glaring at each other. Then Nakula called out, "Well now, by good fortune have I had this opportunity to fight you today, Karna. You are the very root of all the misery we have suffered, and you are also to blame for this great war. By your fault, so many great warriors now lie slain, and the world is filled with widows and orphans. So take now the consequences of your wickedness, O wretched Karna, for I am here to punish you." "O brave one, first strike me and then speak. Only after achieving great feats in battle do heroes utter bold words. Now let us see your prowess. Surely I will destroy your vanity." Immediately, both warriors pierced each other with winged arrows fired at blinding speed. They roared and circled one another, both releasing countless arrows which the other countered. And as they invoked celestial weapons, the sky was filled with shafts, thus casting a dark shadow over the battlefield. But gradually, Karna gained the upper hand. He slew Nakula's chariot driver and 4 horses. Nakula took up a sword and shield, but Karna quickly cut them to pieces. Nakula then grasped his spiked mace and jumped down. Karna broke the mace with straight flying arrows. Laughing, Karna rode over to his disarmed foe, striking him with his bow. Nakula burned with shame and grief as Karna rebuked him. "O child, go now to your elder brothers. You should not wage war with someone powerful. Your strength lies only in words." Now, remembering once again his promise to Kunti, Karna did not attempt to kill Nakula, who then ran to Yudhishthir out of humiliation. Climbing aboard his brother's chariot, Nakula shed hot tears of anger and sighed heavily. He thought of Arjuna and Krishna. Soon, that cruel-minded Karna would surely meet his end. Karna could display his power only for as long as those two great souls did not charge at him in anger. Scene 3. Only one Akshauhini left for the Kauravas. Karna continued to assail the Pandava forces, circling around the battlefield with his bow constantly sending forth flaming arrows. Karna appeared like a wheel of fire. He came against the Srinjais, slaughtering them by the tens of thousands. And as Karna was annihilating his foes, other battles took place. Kripa Acharya contended with Drishtadyumna, Kritavarma with Satyaki, and Bhima battled the sons of Dhritarashtra and slew another 20. Yudhishthir met Shalya, and numerous other powerful heroes came together in a furious trial of arms. And the celestials up in the sky were awed by all these encounters. Single-handedly, Arjuna destroyed the Narayana army, even though he was simultaneously surrounded by many powerful Ratha and Maha-Bharata warriors. And with crescent-tipped shafts, Vijay beheaded his foes and lopped off their limbs, ranging about freely. Sabyasachi thus crushed the Kauravas with an endless stream of arrows from his Gandiva bow. As the sun reached the western horizon, the battlefield presented a gruesome scene. Half of the warriors who had gone out to fight now lay dead. The earth was strewn with carcasses and the wreckage of chariots and armor. Bodies lay burnt beyond all recognition. Flocks of vultures circled the field, and jackals howled and bayed. Seeing darkness enveloping the combatants, Karna ordered the Kaurava army to withdraw. He did not want another night battle. The soldiers pulled away from each other, praising the enemy's prowess, and headed back to their camps. But Duryodhan sat in his tent, sighing and squeezing his hands. Of his 11 Akshauhini divisions, now only one remained. Why, it was almost inconceivable. So many supposedly invincible heroes had been slain. Warriors who had never before tasted defeat now lay dead, embracing the earth like men clasping their lovers. Most of the damage had been done by Arjuna and Bhima. How much longer could this go on? Those two haughty Pandavas had to be killed. Duryodhan himself would take care of Bhima. But why had Karna not yet killed Arjuna? Duryodhan looked at his friend, and understanding the mind of Duryodhan, Karna spoke. Yes, Arjuna is always alert, persevering, skillful, and intelligent. Even when an opportunity arises to overpower him, Krishna intervenes and saves Arjuna. Still, I will not be thwarted. Today, Falguna evaded me by various kinds of deceit. But tomorrow, yes, tomorrow, I will baffle all of Vijay's attempts and slay Arjuna for certain. Tatastu, so let that be. O Karna, I am now heartened by your confidence. I now dismiss this assembly, and everyone should meet at dawn to decide our strategy for killing Arjuna once and for all. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Scene 4. Duryodhan and Karna offend Shalya. The next morning, Karna came alone to see Duryodhan. The Kaurava chief waved Karna to a fine seat as his attendants put on his armor. Tying on his leather finger guards, Duryodhan said, "Well now, my dear friend, are you ready to face Arjuna?" "Yes, today I will fight a most unforgettable battle with that famous hero. Either I will slay Vijay or be slain by him. If I cannot kill Falguna today, I will not return from the battlefield. Even though I have been deprived of my Shakti weapon given to me by Indra, I do not consider myself Kiriti's inferior. I have received powerful celestial weapons from the great Parashuram and can match Jishnu in speed and lightness of hand. Yes, today, Duryodhan, you will see me contend with Bibhatsu, even as Indra fights with the Daitya demons. This entire earth, with its thorns removed, will soon be yours. For there is no deed I cannot perform for you, my dear king, nor is there any man who can withstand me when I am angry. But I need something from you. For there is one area where Arjuna is superior to me. And what is that? He has Krishna as his chariot driver. Krishna guides Arjuna's chariot with superb skill. So I need someone who can match Krishna's ability at driving the chariot. And I can only think of one person for this task, Shalya. Duryodhan looked up sharply. Shalya was one of the most powerful heroes still remaining among the Kauravas. It would be a shame to lose him. Neither would he take kindly to being asked to perform the lowly job of chariot driver, especially for Karna. Moreover, Shalya was the Pandava's relative. Could he be trusted? Seeing Duryodhan's doubtful expression, Karna said, "Assisted by Shalya, I see myself emerging victorious. Shalya is famed throughout the world for his skill at handling chariots. No one is better than Shalya at assessing the strengths and weakness of an enemy. Shalya has pledged himself to your cause, my dear king, because you once satisfied him. And as a man of unfailing virtue, Shalya will do everything within his power to help me. Therefore, go to Shalya, convince him to become my driver.
Duryodhan then became pensive and thoughtful. This was perhaps his only chance to win the war, for without overcoming Arjuna, defeat was certain. All right then, I will convince the Madras monarch to accept the office of chariot driver. Numerous chariots will be placed at your disposal, each equipped with every kind of weapon. And I will also make available hundreds of cartloads of arrows.
Duryodhan understood that the battle with Arjuna would require a vast number of shafts in order to match Sabyasachi's inexhaustible supply. He issued orders to his servants, then got up and left his tent. Now, seeing Shalya in his tent, Duryodhan approached him in a humble, servile mood.
"O mighty hero, best of men, your prowess is invincible. I come to you with a humble request. Karna has asked that you become his chariot driver for today's fight with Arjuna. There is no other who can match your abilities in driving chariots. Why, indeed, you are Krishna's equal. O best of chariot warriors, I therefore beg your assistance. And out of the affection you bear for me, kindly accept this post." "O Shalya, your abilities are quite unsurpassable, and I assure you, there is no other warrior in this world who can ensure by their expert chariot driving that Karna will overcome Arjuna. And the whole army is depending on Karna. And if Arjuna is not checked soon, the Kauravas will be annihilated within no time." Shalya looked at Duryodhan in horror. He suddenly stood up and started to pace the floor of his tent and spoke. "Oh, son of Gandhari, you offend me by such a request. How do you reckon me to be less than Karna? Are you suspect or suspicious of my loyalty and endeavor in the battle? For I am quite capable of performing any feat that the Suta's son can do. Allot to me as my share any heroes you choose, and after slaying them all, I will then return to my own kingdom. And if you wish me to fight alone against the Pandavas, then I will do so. But this request is only an insult. Why, I should leave this war at once, having heard such words from you. Still, I will not abandon my duty out of passion or anger." "Oh, Duryodhan, you make me furious. I am a Kshatriya. It is my duty to fight, not to drive chariots. Driving chariots is the duty of a Shudra. The Shastras ordain that Shudras should serve Kshatriyas, but never vice versa. Karna hails from a family of Sudras, and I am a crowned monarch of a great country. I do not know how I can continue fighting for you now, Duryodhan, after receiving such an insult. Why, I feel more like returning home. Suddenly, Shalya stormed out of his tent, and Duryodhan ran after him. The prince stopped Shalya and reached down to touch his feet. "Oh, please, do not misunderstand me. Do not take offense. I did not in any way mean to infer that you are less than Karna, nor do I doubt your sincerity, nor indeed do I desire the king of Madras to degrade himself by performing some inferior duty. No, there is no question of any of this. But, O Lord of the earth, I see you as being in every way Karna's equal and even more. Please, let me explain my intentions. But try to understand, among all the warriors on this battlefield, no one can equal Krishna. He is by far superior to any one of us. And yet, he has accepted the role of Arjuna's chariot driver. So it is only for this reason that I have thought of you, Shalya. For you are like a second Vasudeva. And Karna can contend equally with Arjuna in a trial of arms, but he needs a chariot driver comparable to Krishna. So both I and Karna cannot think of anyone better than you." Your words pacify me. For like my nephews, the Pandavas, I also love Krishna. And now I remember my promise to Yudhishthira. Surely it has been ordained by Providence that I should drive Karna's chariot for this battle. Your glorification of Devaki's son has softened my heart. But I will consider taking this role only on one condition. I must be allowed to speak whatever I please in the presence of Karna. Let it be. Now, let us go to Karna. And let me remind you of an ancient history, how once Mahadev himself fought with the Danava and Daitya demons, and at that time Brahmaji served as Lord Shiva's chariot driver. So, there is no shame in a powerful hero taking the position when the need arises. Scene 5. Shalya agrees to drive Karna's chariot. And when they reached Karna's tent, Duryodhana spoke. "See here now this mighty hero, O monarch. Can it be that Karna is born of a Suta? In my view, Karna is the offspring of some great deity. Surely he was begotten in a race of Kshatriyas and abandoned at birth. Why, just look at his immense chest and his arms like tree trunks. See now his handsome face, his regal stature and bearing. Why, Karna resembles the sun globe in splendor. So I just cannot accept that Karna was actually born of a Suta woman." "Salutations to thee, O Karna. I will become your chariot driver for the great battle. However, I am doubtful about the outcome. For even if by some chance you manage to slay Arjuna, you will then see Keshava enter the fight, weapons in hand. And as for you, Duryodhan, without doubt, Krishna will annihilate your entire race, along with all of your allies and followers. What then will be the use of your killing Arjuna?" "O king, I am not concerned about that. I am not afraid of Krishna,
when I have both you and Karna on my side? How will Keshava overcome you in battle? Surely Karna will slay Arjuna. Then you and he will be more than a match for Krishna, even if Krishna is supported by all of his followers. And if Karna should be slain, then we will depend upon you alone.
Shalya then looked at Karna, who was carefully tying on his armor. It would probably be the very last time Karna would ever do that.
O Bharata ruler, Tatastu, so be it. I will drive Karna's chariot.
Karna then thanked Shalya, and they both embraced Duryodhan. They left the tent together to meet with the other warriors. After agreeing upon a strategy, the Kauravas mounted their chariots and horses and roared out, blowing their conchs. And Shalya took up the reins of Karna's great chariot, driving it out at the head of the army. 10,000 drums and as many trumpets sounded as the Kaurava forces moved off for battle. And as they went towards the battlefield, Karna spoke. "Take me at once to that place where the Pandavas stand. If necessary, I will fight with all 5 brothers. Quickly drive the horses, O great hero, so that I may kill Arjuna, Bhima, Yudhishthir, and the twins. Everyone in this world will witness today my incomparable prowess." O son of a chariot driver, why do you make light of the Pandavas? Those 5 heroes are unconquerable and have Krishna as their guide and protector. O Karna, when you see them creating a canopy in the sky with their innumerable shafts, you will not speak such haughty words. And when you hear the twang of Arjuna's Gandiva bow, surely you will regret your proud utterances. Never mind, just drive on. Scene 6. Karna and Shalya trade insults. As the 2 armies closed in on each other, dreadful portents were seen. Cloudless thunder resounded from the sky, and a shower of stones fell. Fierce winds blew in the faces of the Kauravas. On their right side, they saw herds of animals moving past them, and jackals howled. Their horses shed tears, and their flag standards trembled. But paying no heed to the omens, the Kauravas rushed into the fight, driven by destiny. Seeing Karna blazing like a brilliant fire at their head, they felt victory to be theirs. They shouted out their war cries and waved their weapons in the air as they charged into battle. Karna called out to his soldiers, "Any man who will show me the whereabouts of Arjuna will be richly rewarded. I will give him gold, gems, and fine horses to one who points out Sabyasachi. Show me where Falguna and Krishna are fighting, and I will award you whatever wealth they leave after I slay them both." Hearing such words, Duryodhan cheered Karna. Cymbals clashed, and thousands of drums were beaten. But Shalya felt differently. "O Suta's son, foolishly you are offering wealth in charity as if you were Kuvera. Do not worry, you will find Arjuna easily enough. There is no need to give away your riches, especially to unworthy persons.
Soon enough, you will find Arjuna yourself. Your bragging is of no use. Never have I seen a fox overthrow a couple of lions. Karna, you are unable to see what should be done and what should not be done. And that is why it is obvious to me that your life is about to come to its end. O Radheya, it appears that you have no real friends to prevent you from hurling yourself into the blazing fire. Now, as your friend, I advise you to approach Kiriti with caution, backed by a large division of men. Do not rush against Falguna alone, like a man trying to cross the ocean with only his 2 arms and a stone tied around his neck. Oh, Shalya, you are an enemy in the guise of a friend. I have no fear of Arjuna. Depending only on the strength of my arms, I will meet and overpower Jishnu. No man will shake me from my determination. O Karna, when keen-edged, kunkka-feathered arrows strike you all over, then you will repent your vanity. Like a child upon his mother's lap, seeking to catch the sun, you wish to defeat Sabyasachi. You are challenging Vibhatsu like a young deer challenging an angry lion. Do not, out of folly, strike a black cobra with your bare hand. Do not shout out at Vijay like a frog croaking at a great cloud pouring showers of rain. As a jackal living among rabbits considers himself powerful until he meets a tiger, so you roar out your own praises until you encounter Arjuna and Krishna. So say whatever you will, but soon your mountain of pride will be broken by the thunderbolt shafts coming from Jishnu.
Karna's breathing came in short, heavy rasps. He burned under Shalya's tirade. Although the Madras monarch had come to the side of Duryodhan, it seemed Shalya's actual allegiance lay with the Pandavas. Now tightly clutching his bow, harshly Karna responded.
O king, only the meritorious can recognize the merits of others. And you, being bereft of all merits, cannot see what is good and what is bad. I am fully aware of Dhananjaya's prowess, but I also know my own power as well. Thus, I have challenged Arjuna, knowing full well my ability to defeat Kiriti. Arjuna's Gandiva, his 8th banner, and his chariot driver Krishna may strike terror into the timid, but as for me, they are only sources of joy. Today you will see me strike down both Falguna and Krishna with a single shaft. Why, they look like 2 pearls on a string. Today, everyone will see my birth, nobility, and power. O foolish one, do not mock me. O chariot driver, you are wicked-minded, and you are a bad character. Only because you are afraid that you praise the enemy. Or perhaps you praise them for some other reason. Never mind, whatever it is. After killing my foes, I will also kill you and all of your relatives. You were born in a sinful land. You are most wretched amongst the Kshatriyas. Do not try to frighten me with your empty words. I could slay 1,000 Krishnas and hundreds of Arjunas. Who Hold your tongue, O you born in a sinful country."
Karna continued to insult Shalya. He described Madras as a country populated by low-class and degraded people. Citing many popular sayings spoken by the Madraka's enemies, Karna abused Shalya and his homeland. Karna was not surprised that the Pandava's uncle should have spoken to discourage him. But Karna was not prepared to tolerate it. Raising his mace, Karna spoke out,
"O king of Madras, if you again speak in such strains and tones, I will crush your skull. Only out of regard for Duryodhan have I not done so already. Now, drive on towards Arjuna. Either the world will hear that I have slain Dhananjay and Vasudeva, or they will hear that the brave Karna was killed by them." "Oh, Karna, you do not ruffle or disturb me by your empty words. Let me remind you of the valorous feats of Arjuna, including the occasion when Vijay overpowered all the Kurus, including you. I will not be affected by your words, O man of evil intent. You cannot inspire me with any fear. My only fear is the curse of a Brahmana. Yes, I know I face great peril due to a long past mistake I once committed, and I realize that it may well prove to be my undoing. I tell you now how once I accidentally killed a Brahmana's cow when I was out hunting many years ago. That Brahmana cursed me, saying, 'And when you face your deadliest enemy, the earth will swallow up your chariot wheel, and then you will become afraid.' But still, I will not turn back. I accept the Brahmana's curse, and I will stand against Arjuna and cut him down with my arrows. Why, even the angry words of my own preceptor will not stop me today."
Karna was remembering the curse of Parashuram, that he would forget the mantras for the Brahmastra at the very time when he needed it the most. Now, careless of both curses, Karna commanded Shalya to drive on. For everything lay in the hands of destiny. Victory or defeat were never certain for anyone. If Providence decreed it, then despite impediments, Karna would emerge victorious. And if not, then despite even his greatest endeavor and his superior skills, Karna would still lose the fight. Karna and Shalya continued to trade insults as they approached the battlefield. Duryodhana could hear their raised voices and went up to them, beseeching Shalya with folded palms not to discourage Karna, and also asking Karna to forgive Shalya. Both men fell silent and sped on across the battlefield, seeing the Pandava forces looming large in the distance.
Namaste Narasimhaya
Prahlad Ahad Dayane Hiranya Kashipo Vaksha Shilatankan Kalai Ito Nrsimha Bharato Nrsimho Yato Yami Tato Nrsimha Bahir Nrsimho Hrinai Nrsimho Nrsimham Ading Sharanang Prapadye Namaste Narasimhaya Nrsimham Ading Sharanang Prapadye Avakara Kamala Vare Nakham Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranya Kashipo Tanu Bringam Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Navakara Kamala Vare Nakham Adbhuta Sringam Dalita Hiranya Kashipo Tanu Bringam Keshavadita Nrsimha Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadita Nrsimha Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Jaya Jagadish Jaya Jagadisha Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Nrsimha Jaya Nrsimha Jaya Jaya Nrsimha Prahlada Isha Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringa